Hey YouTube, so we are back. This is part 2, and I was supposed to show you how I did my sheets, and I was just working along and had ended up putting them all in. If you noticed on the last video on our head and hinge, we had strips of tape on both sides. So this right here is 2 sheets of cardstock that I taped together on each end, and then I untaped or took off the top part of the tape and then slid this down onto the head and hinge. Now, when you're working with your head and hinge, you're going to want to pretend like this is one of the hinges here. So this is a hinge, and you're going to want to take the ends of your hinge, oh Lord, everything's falling everywhere, and just cut it at an angle like that. And that gives your paper something to slide onto, because if you just put it on with a straight square like this, it's going to take a long time for you to get it on there properly. But just go ahead and just cut the corner to make it like an angle here. And then that's what your head and hinge will look like once you cut those corners. And then your 2 papers that you tape together will slide right on top. So, now that I got all my pages in here and I'm looking at my book, I'm like, oh, it looks so great here. And I look over here and I'm like, why do I have so much room on this side compared to this side? And I realized when I put this down, for some reason or another, I slid it to the right, and it ended up more on the right side. But that's okay. People make mistakes, and that's why we are crafters, because as crafters, you know, we will come up with a way to fix that mistake. So my idea is to go ahead and put in some more pages, and I can do that by taking my full sheet of paper, making a score, folding it over, taking some tape, and then just taping it down to here. And I could probably get away with probably 1 more, so 2 altogether. So let's just try it out. Let's sneak some pages in here, and we'll have our little book that looks more complete. So I don't want to get too close to the fold and score line on this sheet here. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure to leave some space in between. Here, so I got 1 sheet in, and I think I can get another one in here. I think that'll be too much of a problem. Let's see. I'm going to score it. When you score, you want to make sure your score line is straight. Alright. Take some tape. You can use tape or glue, whatever you feel most comfortable with using. I'm just using tape for my inside sheets. I just find it easier on me. Make sure to press down firmly on your score tape so that you can get a good lift off of the top. Okay. Now, I'm going to unfold it a little bit. There we go. There. So now I feel better. I have used up that space and it goes great with the rest of my book. The only difference is these two sheets don't have big open pockets like these. But that's okay, because I can put in side pockets, I can put in lower pockets, I can put in flip up and flip outs. For like what I may do, like on this one, I gotta be careful not to go where my fold is in the book. But what I may do is take a sheet. Yeah, I think I will do that. On these here, when I put my tape down, I try to make these a little over 1/4 of an inch, so that when I score it, it's 1/4 of an inch, a little over 1/4 of an inch. This makes for a better flap. Tape. Squirt this down a little. There we go. It'll lay flat for me. Press down, and I'm going to make, it's going to be like a flat coming this way, but I'm putting it on top of this one, and I'm going to put it close to where the old score line is. Uh-oh. I'm going to pause the video so that my boys can sing to their heart's content. Alright, well that song didn't last long, so they weren't really feeling the groove, but that's alright. I love it when they howl. It reminds me of living in Wentzville, Missouri, and listening to all the wildlife. There. Press with this one. Okay. Now it is open, open, open. I love it. Love it, love it. So that works out really good. And I can actually do another sheet there if I wanted to. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I have plans. So where you take off from here, besides fixing what was wrong, now what you want to work on is how you want to lay out each of your pages. So for instance, this is page 1. And what I've done is attached 2 pages to it, opening this way. So I have this page attached to it, and then this page attached to it. Which I think turned out really nice. So now I know, okay, well I have this much room for page 1. And plus I still have this pocket. And the pockets are so that you can store your stuff in here, your cards and your thank you cards and that. And then these sections are for those very special cards that you get that you want to highlight. So that's why we're making these extra pages for that specific area. So for instance, this is going to be all birthday. Then I have another page here. This is going to be for Christmas. Then I'm going to do one for Easter. Then I'm going to do one for what else did I say I was going to do? So we have my birthday, which is a lot of pages. And then we have Christmas, Easter. I might do Halloween. I don't get a lot of cards on Halloween though. So sad, huh? So mostly the holidays that I do get cards on. But my thickest is old love letters. See, that's another thing I was going to say you guys can put in these books, are old love letters. Like back in the day when we used to actually handwrite letters, I still have like a big old stack of them. So I thought, oh, wouldn't that be fun to put them in my book and have them stored somewhere special, because those are special, you know, in their own way. You may have been young when you got them, but they're still special. They give you an insight into how you were as a person too. So hang on to those old love letters, because I think they're fun to read. So that's what you want to do from here on out, is start deciding how you want to set up your pages. We've got our pockets. Now you want to set up your pages and start putting stuff together that will give you more storage room. Now I did make these little pockets, and I thought they would go great, like one here, and then either one here or one here, maybe even 2 here, because you know how sometimes your cards are not that big. So I could put a few cards in here, and then a few cards in here, and then same over here. So that's why I made these pockets. These pockets turned out really nice. And just so you know, all sheets are 8.5 by 11. All of them are. And the book itself, like earlier, it's 9 by 12. So, but all of these are 8.5 by 11. And you cut off about 1/4 of an inch or so for your folded areas. So this area here is folded, so it wouldn't be 8.5 by 11 anymore. But this pocket is, grab my ruler. This pocket is 7 3/4 by 4 1/4. So that's how big this pocket is. And I'm sure this is about the same. 4 1/4. And 7 3/4. Oh, why that looks, oh, I don't have it folded right. That's okay. But that's how you want your pockets to be. You want to make sure that they're going to satisfy what it is that you need them to satisfy. So we'll go ahead and tape down this pocket. The other thing you could do is an accordion style pocket where you have a little gusset on each end that allows you to put more into the pocket that this would allow you to. So you got to be careful of your crease marks down here because you don't want to have your fold lines interfered with. That. Then you have your little pocket. Yay! And we're going to do the same for this one. I think I am going to go ahead and put it on top and then make more pockets for the other sections. Once you're done with styling your pages, which is basically what you're doing, you're putting a style to each page. Once you're done doing that, then you're going to want to start looking at different scrapbook paper to cover your pages with and to decorate with. I try to hang on to my little pieces that get unused because they do come in handy for small jobs. I just stick to everything. The other thing you could do with your pockets and smaller pages is to use a die and create a pretty embellishment on the edge, or create a pretty cut on the edge of your pocket. You could do that before you start putting your tape down. I'm just eyeballing this here, and I want it to go slightly above. So that still closes. This is still fine, so we didn't get it on any of our fold lines. I love that. So I'm going to continue decorating, or not decorating, but styling my pages, and then we'll go over all the different styles I added to each page. And then we'll head off to video number 3. All right. Have a good night.